So we just found out an hour ago that the insurance company we booked with, who we booked a premium package with, said they're going to cover nothing. They're giving us no money back, and according to them, we should have stayed in Rhodes, and we our policy says that we should have booked a hotel within 20 miles of the place we had to leave. Um, Everyone started feeling a bit nervous, I'd say, about 12, because the plume of smoke behind the hotel had got a lot bigger. And there was a water on the helicopters collecting water flying over our hotel, and we could see it going to the sea and flying back. So again, we kind of said to the staff, is everything okay? Should we be worried? And it was very much like, no, no, everything's absolutely fine. Anything will update you, but please don't worry. So about 2 o'clock, we went up to get lunch, and we went to the reception again and just said, look, we are getting nervous. What do you think? Everything's fine.
Mm.
Grab some food. I actually said to my husband, I think maybe, or he said to me, I think maybe we should pack up just in case, thinking, worst case scenario, they'll say to us in a couple hours, it's a bit close, let's all get into coaches and they'll take us somewhere else. So we'd started packing, and we're about 5 minutes into that process, heard a noise outside our door, and we opened the door and we could see staff members running. And one of the cleaners came over to us, saw us, came over and said, you need to go, run, you need to go right now. So we just grabbed what we had and started running. We could see other holidaymakers also with bags or whatever they had and just running. We ran down to the beach, and as we got down to the beach, we could see thousands of people streaming across this road at the beach. We waited on the beach for a little bit and were given kind of water bottles, and then people started leaving, and we could really see the fires coming in at that point. So we just grabbed our stuff and started hiking basically down the beach. And it was 40-degree heat. I mean, it looked apocalyptic because, the smoke was covering the sun at this point. So there was just this really scary orange hue over everything. And, there was ash falling, and people were just carrying whatever belongings they had on them. Many people had nothing. Some people were still in just swim shorts or bikinis and flip flops, carrying children, carrying babies. Some of the places as we were passing, a lot of the locals were just so compassionate and so helpful. They would bring out water bottles to people. They were bringing out hoses and trying to hose people down because it was just, I mean, the heat was just unbelievable. It was so, so hot, and there was no shade. We couldn't get any cash out. We had no money on us. There was no cars, there was no taxis, there was nothing to take us. People were just huddled in, like, on the street, just lying around, looking very scared, not sure what to do. At that point, we were like, well, we either stay here or we try and keep going. And there was no advice, there was no one telling us what to do. So we just thought the best thing we can possibly do is just getting further away from the fire because it was still coming. So again, we flagged down a van, and actually this guy called Thanasis, who was a local Greek guy, he pulled over, he had a truck, he pulled over, and he was just so lovely. He was like, look, get in my car, I'll take you where you guys need to go, but please, we were kind of panicking at this point a little bit. And he was like, look, relax, it's okay, we'll drive you further up. So he drove us further up, and he actually knew someone that owned this beach hotel called the Mojito Beach Hotel. So we stopped there. The lady that owned it brought us in, gave us food, gave us drinks. We had no money. She was like, "Don't worry about it. Just come in." And yeah, we got to the airport. A friend from the UK, our friend John, actually booked us a flight out of there on EasyJet for us and sent us the details. And yeah, we managed to get onto a flight to Toulouse. We were like, book the first place you can find, and it was Toulouse in France. So we're in Toulouse in France now, and just recouping and trying to work out what to do next. Yeah.
Yeah, and presumably this is cost you money. I mean, as well as being a kind of life shattering feeling, it's not been an easy one to pay for, right?
So we just found out an hour ago that the insurance company we booked with, who we booked a premium package with, said they're going to cover nothing. They're giving us no money back, and according to them, we should have stayed in Rhodes, and our policy says that we should have booked a hotel within 20 miles of the place we had to leave. They said that the FCO is still advising travel to Rhodes, therefore it is fine to travel to Rhodes, and we shouldn't have left. So the fact that the FCO is still advising travel, I mean, we heard on the Saturday night when we were all huddled in this hotel that there were still people still flying in, and that's just absolutely crazy that people are still flying in. And the fact that our government was allowing that is shameful. I mean, you've got families flying in to someone that's been evacuated, and people are fighting for their lives at this point. I just think it's crazy that that's still happening, and it's crazy the FCO is still saying it's fine to travel to Rhodes.
Well, I think that must have changed now, because I know that they've been
Yeah.
cancelling flights. EasyJet's cancelled flights. I think TUI and others have been pulling flights until at least Tuesday. Can I
Good.
ask you, Robert, what you've it sounds a really weird question. What have you learned from what you've been through? I mean, I know you're still processing it, but what what are the kind of the lessons that you've kind of taken from this extraordinary experience?
I'd say one of the things that really stood out that was incredible was just the compassion of the locals. The Greece locals were incredible. They were absolutely doing anything they could to try and help people, giving them water, food, giving them lifts, and just really trying to look after people. And considering that this is their home, they're watching their home burn, their businesses, their livelihoods, and they're still going out of their way to help people, help the tourists on the island. To me, the humanity behind that is just incredible, and something really amazing from the people of Rhodes and the people of Greece. I'd say for us, just to be honest, like, climate change is something that's been scaring me for a long time, and I think this is an example of, the world is warming, where nothing's been done to deal with it properly by our governments. Green policies have been stopped all the time, and I think these kind of situations are waking people up a lot to the situation that we're in as a planet, and that we're going to need to really start doing things differently.
The Newsagents. This is a Global Player original podcast.